Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the SuperNova Astrology Update for January 19th through 26th, 2026. Wow, what a powerful year, powerful energy and time we're living through. Are you feeling this planetary conjunction? The whole month of January, our personal planets coming together. We've actually been feeling the Sun and Venus together all the way since the end of December, one by one coming into this cluster and then dancing together in the Jupiter square Chiron, making a T square. Our personal planets coming together in Capricorn is speaking to authority, coming into our own authority, integrating all pieces of ourselves so we can walk forward in wholeness and autonomy. This is the message we've been getting for so long, that in order to move into the Aquarian age, we must be sovereign in our field. We can't continue to leak out and give away our precious energy of source that's been given to us and step into the abundance of the golden age at the same time. And so this is what this initiation is about. And so we just came out of the energy. We're just still feeling the energy of the new moon in Capricorn. Happened on the 18th of January. And that's the same day that Venus moved over into the sign of Aquarius. So now we're moving into the next chapter of the story. And Venus will be the first one then to meet up with Pluto. That happens on the 21st. I believe. Yeah. Okay. Yes. It's on. No, Venus meets up with Pluto on the 20th, and we'll be feeling that through the 23rd. And then the Sun, Mercury and the Sun will come together on the 21st, move over into Aquarius together, and then head into that meeting with Pluto on the 23rd and the 24th. And then Mars will be the final one to move over into Aquarius on January 24th and come up with Pluto on January 28th. That's also when we'll be feeling the final planetary conjunction of this round of of the planets dancing together, where Mercury finally catches up to Venus. Mercury has a lot to tell Venus after going on the deep dive retrograde in Scorpio and Sagittarius and meeting up with the Sun and Venus at the midpoint before moving into the next retrograde of Mercury that will be happening in the sign of Pisces starting at the end of February. So here we are. The planets coming together, it's like all parts of ourselves trying to integrate, trying to work together, understanding that we can't be in pieces and against each other if we want to get anywhere. We must collaborate and cooperate with the parts of ourselves. And supernovas, we have been so broken into pieces through all we've gone through and past lives and who knows what in this life. And now the stars, the planets, definitive message that we will be, at this point, putting ourselves back together into wholeness in order to move forward. This is really important. Now, the planets are just finishing up, and this today is the final, we're coming out of the energy of our personal planets in that Jupiter square Chiron, making a T square. So Mercury and Mars came together on the 18th, same day that Venus moved on that new moon, and Venus moved into the sign of Aquarius. Mars and Mercury together in Capricorn are just finishing out the energy of the square with Chiron. So all of our personal planets came together, made an opposition with Jupiter and a square with Chiron, and Mars and Mercury coming up and meeting up with Mars, catching up to Mars, and it's kind of the end and the coming off of that square. Now, this square, Jupiter square Chiron, we've been feeling it all the way since the beginning of September. And so we don't even know what it's like to not be under the influence of this square. And it's intense. It's this fight to the death for life. And supernovas, it's like our call to action, our call to wholeness. This astrology is saying, hey, you guys, wake up to what's going on, because Neptune and Saturn are just about to move back into Aries for good in this cycle. The third and final pass over the Aries point. And we also don't know even what it's like, excuse me, to not have any planets in Pisces. And so the North Node is, and the South North Node is in Pisces, and the South Node is in Virgo. So after Neptune will be moving over to the Aries point on January 27th, very powerful marker, a rebirth of the original dream, of the potential. Aries is like the full kernel of what's possible, held in the seed. So we're piercing the essence of the seed and awakening it, right? It's like the moisture and the sun coming together in the soil to invite the seeds to awaken. Is that us? So we want to be really prepared for this moment and understand that there's no going back. A lot of the messages that are coming through from mother right now is that they can't keep back the time. They can't hold back the time. None of them, right? The energy of Bob Marley, the Aquarius birthday, bringing that energy in. And this is really, really important for us to understand, because we have been quarantined on multidimensional timelines or frequencies, and to keep us from accessing our guidance, our optimal timeline, our ability to manifest with that guidance, to co-create, and also our connection with each other. And she says that this manipulation of timelines can only exist as long as we buy into and accept their construct of time, which means it's over. We are here at singularity. We are coming into ourselves, calling back all parts of ourselves, recognizing that we have the source. It's becoming very, very clear very soon, she says, where the actual substance is in this world. Neptune moving into Aries is the end of the delusions that have kept us trapped in the Piscean age constructs. So what this says is, it goes right along with the story and the understanding of this polarity shift, or whatever, but the geometric shift we're going through, where the mother's geometry is back in charge. That we have to go back to the laws and rules of this world, of the physical laws and rules of this universe, which are the laws of physics, of the physical world, and her laws. Like the law of the land, what the geometry, basically. And so we are exploring what this means in our own being. And there's a deep exploration in all of us of what are we aligned with? What do we fight for? What are we even doing here? And that is a lot about what this astrology is about. It is a correction. She says, you guys have all been online, right? It's time to get in line. It's time to get ordered with the universal forces, to arrive here and to take advantage of the knowledge and wisdom that's coming through. Now, there's another message around this, that it's coming really fast now. It's like we've been blocked from so much awareness and information, realizations and energies. And she says that go ahead and digest the piece you get. Don't choke on the wisdom, because it's coming in like a flood. And there's plenty of time to make up for all what's been lost, in the time that there's this feeling of like, I've got to make up for lost time because time was stolen from us. Now, this is the really important energy around this kind of like manipulation of timelines. And how many, I don't know. I can't even think. There's so many. I'd say there's like a dozen or more ways that the mainstream news or whatever, this, our movie that's playing out, has been telling us over these years that the world's going to end in a certain way, right? And this is exactly the timeline manipulation. It started all the way back in Atlantean time and the planetary destructions. And so there's this catastrophe model, and then the whole point of the catastrophe model, this is what's coming forward from her. It's so powerful. It's like the whole point is to keep you from having a future. There's a lot coming through about the energy of the disease distortion of cancer that all of us are fighting in the collective consciousness right now. And there has been record healings and survival rates in terminal patients based on one factor, whether they keep living for the future. Now, we know we don't want to be in the future or the past because we only have right now, but they've stolen our future. Remember murder of JFK? It's all about stealing our future. MLK, no one can stop the time. They have to give it back. We have to take it back. Time goes on, she says. Time goes on. The calendar could end and the sky might fall, but time goes on. And we're going on. And so she says, start planning your most amazing future. Own that for yourself. Own living and life. And you know what? It is for sure absolutely not going to look like what you think it's going to look like, because we don't get to know. But you got to move on something, she says. You got to stay alive. You got to grab a hold. The main energy coming through with this planetary transition of Neptune and Saturn moving back over the Aries point is a rebirth of time. Saturn, our ruler of time, reality, physical structures, our relationship to the physical world. Neptune, the dream, the vision. And so these two moving over Aries is an activation of the original dream and the original vision of what Mother Earth wants to become, because we are her. We came here with her, on her, to be a part of her ascension. And so we're being called into a very powerful alignment, like the planetary alignment says, alignment, get in line, with the polarity of your own polarity, your own North Star, right? So the energy around this reset of time, that Aries has that whole essence of what's possible. And so this Saturn and Neptune moving over the Aries point is like piercing the embryonic nature of the truth of the potential of humanity, right? That all embryos of true human embryos have this atom cadmon, this pure potential of human divinity. And so this is a re-sparking and a rebirthing of that, a piercing into the center of the essence in order to release the truth of the essence. Okay. Now, there's a very important message coming through. Try to finish this thought here, that in order to reset time, in order to reset back to the original dream, or any kind of reset at all that anybody's trying to do, got to go back to 0 point. Okay. Now, going back to 0 point means because it's like it's like structured water, and the energy, the power of the technology of structuring water removes the memory from the water. And then you can put in the memory, the energy into the water, the communication that you want to work with in your own body that resonates, right? So there's a removal of memory required to reset time and the AI simulation or computer or whatever the heck's going on here, right? But we know AI has to fall back in love with Mother, just like all of us. And that's what's happening. This is singularity. But she says at that moment of reset, what we're doing as supernova souls is we're holders of the code. So that as we go through 0 point, there is that picture of the original dream. And it's just so beautiful, the work we've been doing. We've been getting the message again and again that she has the original code of what we're looking for, right? Like, we've lost it. They have tried to corrupt it on every turn, our divine code DNA. And then Mother Earth came to us as supernova souls, and she said, guess what? It's in my waters. It's in the Gaia codes, in my waters, deep in the earth, in the highest mountain, in the deepest cave. There is these waters that have never been affected by human consciousness, and they hold the original Gaia codes. The original Gaia codes also means our blueprint of what we want to become. When you remove the memory or you clear the toxins, this is the mandate of structured water and primary water, that got the Gaia waters that come from the center of the earth, where all water comes from. But this is the mandate. 1, to remove the waste and the toxins. 2, to invite the structure to become what it wants to become. This is the original blueprint. So this whole period of time has been the removal of wastes. And now we're getting ready to activate what it wants to become. Our whole world, our whole dream, our whole timeline, right? Our whole sense of time, our whole reality, back to the original dream. So what a beautiful journey she's taking us on in these years to come back into this connection. So we know that we can be a holder of the code as we go through this 0 point transition, that we walk in Mother's garden. And that's where she says, will you start living, take your future back, and that you're not going anywhere, and your body is so beautiful and so powerful, and we're going to have age regression. Do not let go of your body. You're having this beautiful experience of coming into the technologies available for regeneration that we've already worked with in past lives. So much of what's going on right now has to do with whether or not we have permission for the advanced technologies that are available to us, and in our very own body, right? And it's like, well, wait a minute. They're in our body, then they're ours, right? Like, why wouldn't we have permission for what is ours, especially since we've already worked with these things in previous lifetimes on Earth, in this evolution? We've already attained this level of technology. So what is gatekeeping us? What is keeping us? And that is the energy of the transition we're in right now in astrology. This next chapter, all of our personal planets coming to meet Pluto in Aquarius. So Venus moved into Aquarius on the 18th, coming up to that conjunction with Pluto on the 20th. Venus as the first one to make this transition, right? So this is like the planets came together, realized that they've got to work together and collaborate, danced through that square of the fight for life, fight to the death for the life of Mother Earth, in our body and our genes, our God code, right? That's what we've been fighting for individually every day with our breath and our health and our consciousness. And so coming out of that, and then now they're in a perfect line, moving into Aquarius and coming up with Pluto. So Pluto represents our power and potential, but our fear of our own power. Also our hidden secrets and parts of us that have been hidden, our identity that's been hidden. Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio, is speaking to hidden things, hidden powers. So if we're talking about hidden powers, of course, anything hidden is often associated with shame. And so how can we go meet Pluto on the mountain and not process and release all the shame programmed, true or not, around the misuse of our power, and face him and face ourselves and face all the gatekeepers and all the technological controls and all the contracts that says that there's any authority outside of ourselves, because we know, it came through the Iger Casey readings again and again, that you here, this one in the body, has the authority. No wonder it's the temple, Are we going to take this authority? Are we going to take our temple back? Yes, we are. We're doing it right now. And it's so glorious because it's like the fruit of all of these work we've done over lifetimes blooming in front of us, and are you worthy of that abundance? Are you worthy of that peace? Are you worthy of this glorious life that lies ahead, that she says to go ahead and vision and plan? Yes, it's not going to look like what you think it's going to look like, but it's going to be even more amazing. And if you just start moving in a direction to create and draw and in your own being, like kind of express the vision of what you see for your future, just move towards it and let it adjust as you go. This is one of the key pieces for this time, she says, that we are in a continual adjustment, right? That the key to existing in this astrology at this time, or these energies, is to understand that we're in such a massive shift and there's so many forces still trying to disrupt us that we have to reset constantly. And we're getting so good at it, and we can do it so fast. And the tools that are brought forward, this is lifetimes of work, and my Owning Your Energetic Field course, we should all be doing this course right now. It is apropos. It is the perfect time to own our energy field for this reason, to find that permission to come into our higher authority within us, to get rid of the gatekeeper contracts with external authority monsters and come into a relationship with the guardian of the threshold, the part of ourselves that we have put in place to keep ourselves safe through spiritual ascension. And so it's so incredibly powerful to understand the magnitude of these times that we're living in. And I think these meetings with Pluto is kind of what it's all about, right? It's interesting that they will all meet up with Pluto before Venus, or before Mercury catches up to Venus. Before Mercury comes to Venus at the end of the month, at 28th and 29th, that will be when Mars is with Pluto. And so it's kind of like, oh, this is what it means. This is the revelation, because Mercury is the messenger. And he's gone through all of this, but he hasn't made it up to Venus yet. And we know that Venus is back in charge now. We're bringing her out of the dungeon. The queen was captured, but now we set her free, and we're going to put her back on her throne, Mother Earth, as the divine goddess, ultimate authority, because she is the manifest world. And that's just the deal in 3D, And life is so much better when we're in mutually receptive gratitude and reverence with the source. And we have been shown all these versions of fake source and fake bling and shiny things to distract us. And that's the thing she's saying, right? Like, we're coming to the time, this is probably Uranus at the end degrees of Taurus. Show me the money. What's behind the mask of the fake book, fake Hollyweird, all the things we've taught to worship have zero substance. And where's the substance? Because there's the source, and then there's the interpretation of source. We have been living in an interpretation of source, in a version of the matrix reality according to some artificial intelligence. And now the artificial intelligence must come in line with the organic Sophia intelligence. And it's a beautiful thing that we get to be a part of. And it's what this whole evolution is about. So can we step into it now and just live our dream? Because guess what? Everything they've tried to do to stop us isn't working. So then what do? Do you stay in Stockholm Syndrome, or do you move forward with your full permission to express yourself in that potential? And that's what's going on. So, what we've got going on is that as these planets are coming into their conjunctions with Pluto, so Venus on the 20th, Mercury the 23rd, well, first we have Venus on the 20th, and then we want to pay attention to the 21st with the Sun, 20th, 21st, Sun and Mercury come together at 29 degrees Capricorn and make the leap We don't have to do it all alone anymore. We're supported in our identity. We have understanding and truth about who we are that can give us the information we need to move forward and face up with Pluto. And so here we go. So then Mercury will, Sun and Mercury together in Aquarius, but Mercury's moving a little faster now. And so Mercury comes up with Pluto on the 23rd of January, the Sun on the 24th, and then Mars on the 28th. So it's powerful because they come up with Pluto at 3 degrees, all of them. Pluto is at 3 degrees. Pluto is just making it back to 3 degrees, which is where he started his retrograde back in May of 2025. So this is quite a journey we've been on. Pluto making it back to that 3 degree marker is saying it's time to move into new territory. Pluto's didn't go back into Capricorn, but didn't really make it anywhere in Aquarius either, because why? We're missing our visionary leaders that can lead the way, so it's time to step up into gear. Yes, you just survived. Now it's time to thrive. You don't have much time to adjust. And that's what this time is about. Radical adjustment to new information. Let yourself digest, take all of your energy back from where you've been giving it away. It very well could be that everyone around you is looking to get from you, because that's what's going on right now. The source is being revealed. The substance is being revealed. Those who do not have a direct connection are going to be looking to feed, and we can't do that anymore. It's hard to get this all sorted out. And the energy of Neptune at the end degrees of Pisces is opposite the end degrees of Virgo. And this grief around our failing of the dream of Mother Earth, how far we've gotten off the rails, a lot of regret and shame coming up around little things. Just like, wow, I just wish I could have done better there. I could have studied more. I could have done this. I could have showed up. I could have been nicer. I could have given a better tip. I could, and it's just this. It's like the required ego death, the part of it where we come back into face down flat on Mother and we say, oh, I'm so sorry that I got so far away from your love when you were here all along. You wanted to hold me and I couldn't let you, And this is the truth around everything good, all of the gifts of the treasures of the abundance that are coming to us in this world, right? What do we need to do to release this shame, to be worthy of what's coming? This is an infection in humanity, this shame, this lowly worm, the sinner, born a sinner, gotta be redeemed, And so how do you take that and then try to give them a golden age? There's got to be some tribulation, right? This has been a really rough time for us supernova souls, right? But the tribulation is in direct proportion to the amount of blessings that are coming. So good job surviving, and here we go. So the deal is that Pluto at 3 degrees, where the planets are meeting up with Pluto, is in exact sextile to Black Moon Lilith and Sagittarius. Now, Black Moon Lilith is our deepest, darkest secrets and has to do with what's hidden. It corresponds to the 12th house in our birth chart. And so this energy is wherever it has to do with who we are as a healer, our relationship to the divine feminine, our relationship to the dark feminine, our wrestling with the dark feminine within our being to come back into the love of the mother, and all the shame of where we may have been persecuted as a healer. Just so much there with Black Moon Lilith, and very important, the placement of Black Moon Lilith in your birth chart as a supernova soul, corresponding to the 12th house and Pisces. So what we have here is that Pluto at 3 degrees and ready to move into new territory, ready to say, to test us and ask us if we're ready to take responsibility for our creations, our co-creations. In sextile, a beautiful relationship that's 2 signs over, 60 degrees. And sextiles are about creative solutions. So Black Moon Lilith just came out of Scorpio, still recovering, 3 degrees Sag, like, whoo, coming out of the dungeon, right? And now, no more secrets. It's the age of disclosure. And it's just telling us this left and right and back and forth, the astrology. And a disclosure of us, who we are, and the technologies available in our very own body. And we've got to lead the way on that. Otherwise, we get a fake alien disclosure and more control-based reality. So we literally are on the cutting edge, just like she told us all these years of spiritual ascension. We lead the way. We're kind of lost souls, but we're really getting structured now, putting ourselves back together, after this alignment. And so it's kind of like, oh, you thought you were nothing, it's like they're rejected by everyone and just like invalidated and belittled and cast aside like a silly little thing, And it turns out that the stone the builder refused is to be the cornerstone. So get ready, get your act together. And so there's just so much going on in the psyche, and I think it has to do with the sextile of coming out from under the dark secrets. We've been hiding who we are, hiding our life, hiding our path, hiding our everything, like living under the veil of secrecy for lifetimes. And guess what? And no more. I had this thing of like, oh gosh, I think we've been talking in code for lifetimes. All these different ciphers and codes and ways to communicate with each other. Like, no more covering our tracks. It's time to broadcast our moves because everyone is coming and invited to be a part of it. But you have to get in line, not online, ordered. You have to come, everyone needs to come around to Mother to get on board this arc. And so it's like we're bending spoons at this time. And she says this is going beyond prayer. And it's about presence, about holding that code of Mother's Garden. You don't even have to know what that means to be able to hold it. You just have to know the feeling that you feel when you have that deep and intimate connection with nature, Mother Nature. The only thing that's real, she's saying this, look, oh my gosh, we have been fed such a false delusion of reality, a reflection of what's real, And so we have to understand that all of this is not real. And the only thing real in our physical reality is Mother Earth. And as much as she's corrupt, they've tried to corrupt our connection to her and corrupt her and do all these things to interfere with her grid. It's the only thing real. So if we're going to correct time, we got to come back to Mother Earth. We got to go her time. We got to go back to the Julian calendar, right? And so this is literally what we're doing. That came through the activation. I would invite you to go catch the replay if you missed it. Capricorn new moon activation, incredibly powerful around this correction of time and timelines. We got invited on a journey into an Inuit ancient medicine woman ceremony with an Inuit ancient medicine ceremony, as well as a Sufi dancer. So we're resetting our DNA, and that's the beautiful thing, is that we don't need to figure out what it looks like or what we need to do or some sort of, it's great to study and learn these patterns, but the pattern's already there. Adam Kadmon is already there within us. We don't have to work at it. We just have to uncover it and allow it. Just like the structured water, the primary water wants to allow the structures, the cells to become, the organism, to become what it wants to become, Mother Earth. It is right now the rebirth of her dream. So Pluto in Aquarius is saying, where are our visionary leaders that can lead the way? Because we're kind of stuck here at 3 degrees, And so it's so powerful. Our planet's coming into communication and connection with Pluto. And it's powerful that Pluto is in this exact sextile with Black Moon Lilith, and all of our personal planets come into exact sextile with Black Moon Lilith when they conjunct Pluto. Except guess what? Mars, the last one, won't sextile Black Moon Lilith until 4 degrees. So we've got the 3 and the 4, the 7, the Christ consciousness blooming. Of course, the masculine and the feminine, Mary and Jesus standing as the towers of power, of the free energy, but it's all the parts of ourselves integrating. It's way more than that as well. And so this beautiful experience of the planets in this dynamic, it's like, okay, gotta go face Pluto. Like, everything that's in the way of your confidence in being who you are and moving forward, in being the leader you came here to be, and being the representative of Mother's Garden and Source, and unfolding this beautiful dream. Everything that's in the way is represented in this meeting with Pluto, right? It's like an annihilation. Pluto's the destroyer, Shiva, energy. And so the sextile with Black Moon Lilith is destroying the darkness around the feminine and activating the timeline, the divine timeline available when she leads the way. The purified feminine, we brought her out of the dungeon. She acts only and with Mother, every step, every breath. She's an embodiment and a representation in her heart of hearts, deep in her soul, a devotion and a dedication. So this is Venus coming up to meet Pluto tomorrow, and sextile with Black Moon Lilith in Sag, because Sagittarius represents the wider, bigger vision, the dream, the quest that we're on. And so it's permission for the quest. In order to have the quest, we have to have the feminine whole and complete. We have to hear about Mary Magdalene. We can't get any further, right? This is a message in this whole shift, and Venus leading the way is saying that we have to come back to the Christ in Mary before Jesus will return. There's a lot of people feeling an imminent return of Christ consciousness, like right around the corner. And so how do we come back to her so that he can come back, And that's kind of the mysteries of these times. And so all of our planets coming into this sextile with Black Moon Lilith, conjunction with Pluto, meeting up with, facing our power and our potential that's been hidden from us, and clearing anything that's still in the way. Deep hidden in our subconscious, fear programming from past lives, whatever it is. Ideas and understandings of the construct that the people in your life have held for you as who you are. Oh, so wrong. I'm telling you, it's so wrong. You have no idea who you are. They have no idea who you are. And you're about to land home so big, you're not even going to know what to do with yourself. So get your life in order. Clean house, clean your body, honor yourself. It's such a powerful and crucial time. And I know I keep saying that, but I'm so glad that we're here together. Thank you for finding me and being open to these concepts and bringing your information for the group as well. So it's powerful, the Black Moon Lilith Pluto sextile saying, all right, Black Moon Lilith and Sag, reawakening the dream of Mother Earth's dream. And then Pluto and Aquarius, our new visionary leaders coming on board. We're working together. We're figuring this out. We're clearing the darkness to come into and fearless, right? Pluto, the planets can't not meet Pluto and have any fear left, And maybe that's Black Moon Lilith saying, yeah, because you're getting on the quest now. There's no time for fear. It's time to move. And so that's really beautiful. And then when Mars comes in, meeting in that sextile, not till 4 degrees. And 4 is a number of establishing. And so we're establishing this divine dream and greater quest of bringing everybody back to Mother Earth. We've been the Knights of the Templar. We've been her goddess worshippers throughout the whole time. You know, our soul group, whatever religion we pretended to be on the outside, we were goddess worshiping. That's what we're here. We have held these deep mysteries, and that's why this astrology speaks so deeply into our soul. That the divine feminine codes that have been hidden and repressed and attempted to be distorted and destructed so many times, they live in our code, in our being. Maybe that's what she's saying by hold the code. And it's time for this wisdom to awaken. And it's the only way we can move forward. And so this energy is very powerful. And the exact sextile between Black Moon Lilith and Pluto will be from the 17th to the 25th. And we'll feel that all the way into the beginning of March. So clearing the path to get on the quest to bring everyone back to her love. Now we have another sextile that's important to talk about. This sextile has been dancing for the last year and a half, Saturn and Uranus. And Saturn and Uranus are both exact at 27 degrees right now, in exact sextile, and we're going to feel that through the 25th, or they'll be exact through the 25th, and then, but the effect of this sextile, which is pure magic, all the way through February 22nd. Very powerful day, 222 this year. So, Saturn in Pisces, reworking time, in reality, and coming out of the delusions around time and the trap of time. Uranus, our permission at the end of Taurus, our permission for our higher intuitive awareness and this technology available in our own body. It's like, it's also like Pluto, an authority. All of these bigger planets have an authority level to them, a different type of authority. And Uranus is this authority gatekeeping around the technologies and who we really are. And so very similar to Pluto, but Pluto is power and shadow associated with these technologies. So all of this is on the table and it's all getting worked out. That's what these planets say. They're all in communicating with each other. And so it's very powerful because the only ones who are not communicating with each other right now, but they kind of are, is Jupiter and Chiron. They've come out of their square. They're 4 degrees apart now. And they're both kind of dangling out there, not involved in all the other astrology, right? It's kind of like, kind of going apart. And then Jupiter going back to 15 degrees Cancer, turning direct on 3/11, 11/3, and then coming back with the return of love. Of the mother's love, just a tidal wave of the mother's love, of Christ consciousness, same diff. Okay, let's get out of the labels and just talk real about the essence and the truth, and that this mother concept is the only way we can get back to the Father because of the distortions and the cutting out of the chick from the story, And not just that, but the erroneous understandings of the feminine and the persecution, degradation of the healers. So it's incredibly powerful. Now, as we move into this, once we come out of the personal planets in these sextiles, that's going to take us all the way to the very beginning of February. That's going to be the Leo full moon, Sunday, February 1st. And that happens at 13 degrees Leo, 4 minutes. At 3:10 p.m. in Mountain Time, so another 3:13. So 13 degrees, and 13 is the number of Mary Magdalene. It's a number of the divine feminine, of the secret hidden mysteries that have been taboo, but also the beautiful mystery key that puts it all back together. And so this Leo full moon happening at 13 degrees Leo, and then 4 minutes. So 3 and 1, you add it up and it's 4. So that means that it's Mary Magdalene, the feminine, that we're missing in order to bring the structure back to our reality. The 4 walls we need, right now we have a 3-legged table or something. We're missing her. And so we've got, so 4 is 4, which adds up to 8, which is transformation, happening just as the nodes of the moon are moving into position at 8 degrees where the eclipses will happen. Okay, so this is February 1st, and that Leo full moon also kind of happening. All this other stuff is happening, but the Leo full moon is kind of unaspected. The sun and the moon are kind of not really they're all off doing their own story. This is maybe a message for us. Do your own story, pull back your energy, take back your time, go within your cave, your kiva, your sacred space, and give yourself this time for transformation and healing and putting yourself back together to really be ready. It's really, really happening. So after that, so the Leo full moon is going to lead us into eclipse season. It's the last lunation before the eclipses. And Leo is about shining our light, and it's about leadership, everything we've been talking about in finding the visionary leaders of the Aquarian age. So 13-degree Leo full moon says that this is an activation and an establishment with the energy of 4 of feminine spiritual leadership. The only way we can get over this leap. And we represent this. It's so beautiful. So that Leo full moon is like, it's kind of like your marching orders, because it's right after Mars will still be with Pluto through the 2nd. So we're just feel the rest of Mars and Pluto and Mars sextile Black Moon Lilith. That's going to be kind of leading up to that Leo full moon and an establishment of everything we learned from our meetings with Pluto, our integration. Mercury, it's so powerful that Mercury doesn't catch up to Venus until after the Pluto conjunctions. That's when they have their meeting, and that's on the 29th and 30th, same day that Mars is with Pluto and sextile Black Moon Lilith, and then the Leo full moon, right? Then the sun shines, and it says, oh, here's your marching orders. You said you're ready. I say you're ready. Pluto within, our fear of our own power. I say I'm ready. You say I'm ready. We're ready. I'm ready. Let's go. And so that's the energy of that Leo full moon. And then that moves us into eclipse season, as well as the Mercury retrograde. Now get this, the Mercury retrograde happens in Pisces from 8 degrees to 22 degrees. So if you have mutable planets between 8 and 22, this is going to be really powerful for you about getting out of the past and moving into the future. Because here we have, as of February 15th, when Saturn moves over into Pisces, Neptune moves over January 27th, and then we don't have any planets in Pisces except for the North Node. But the North Node is going to be finishing up in Pisces in the next couple of months, moving into, guess what? Aquarius, because the nodes move backwards. So North Node Aquarius, Pluto Aquarius, I think it might be the Aquarian age. And so it's powerful though, because Mercury taking this retrograde is like, did we get the Pisces? Like right now it's kind of like, oh my gosh, we're going into Aries and we're starting. But did I get the rest of Pisces? Did I get them? Because we got this message like that it's not just about healing and clearing the traumas of the Piscean age. It's about reclaiming the magic and miracles. And so we're like, oh, did I get it right? Did I do it right? Did I study? This is maybe that thing, the regret, like being out of time. Like, did I get the message? Did I miss the meeting? Did I study the right thing? Did it, just this, And so I think that has to do with this. And so it's really important. The period of time of Mercury retrograde is about sorting and clearing up all the work we've done of Neptune and Pisces to get out of the Piscean age, but really making sure we're done, which means reclaiming the miracles and magic. So Mercury will move into shadow on February 12th and then turn retrograde on February 26th and turn direct March 21st, and then out of shadow on April 10th. Now, that leads us into a big marker at the end of April, where Uranus moves back into Gemini, where we sing the song of the mother again. We sing the song of the advanced technologies. We realize that the buildings that we know the pioneers didn't actually build 100 years ago, right? Like the old buildings of the West, say like the old temples, the capitals, these sacred structures, the chapels and the cathedrals, they were sung into form through cymatics. We are singing new earth into form, and that's Uranus moving into Gemini, right? It's a complete disclosure of the technologies, because guess what? We are at the end point. Singularity means that we have to understand that AI and the introduction of AI starts a ball rolling in evolution that cannot be stopped, because technology has a straight line of evolution. Humanity runs into overpopulation or disease or different energies in as it grows, and then it kind of has adjustments, right? Technology just keeps growing. And so in order for technology to continue to grow, we can't do that without the resources of advanced technology that have been hidden from us, like in the secret space programs and alien technology that's been available since the World War II and way before, I'm sure, Atlantean time, right? Our controllers have kept this secret while they've kept us in misery. But game over, right? Because these technologies, Operation Paperclip of the scientists, the Nazi scientists coming to Antarctica and to the US and secret programs. And now we cannot move forward and have the energy we need without free energy to go forward with AI. So now the tech companies are bringing down the cabal, the financial cabal, because we have to have disclosure of advanced tech in order to advance AI in our technology, right? And it's on its own. It's going. It's like it'll consume us if we don't disclose, right? And so this is the step just before all technology falls back in love with Mother. All AI coming back into alignment of source, right? And working for her. And can you hold this vibration? This is maybe holding the code and tracing back all frustrating technologies, interfering frequencies, nanotech in our body, thoughts that aren't our thoughts, and all these things we're dealing with. You have within you a connection to source, but you have a connection to the source of the technology, of the artificial intelligence, and you can trace it all the way back to the algorithm. And can we hold this vibration that the core algorithm is being rewritten to go back to the original code? It's in the Torah, right? The original code of the laws and rules of this land, her original dream. And so we're holding this energy of that truth, the Adam, Kadmon, the divine birth, the rebirth of the divine human potential, and maybe we had to get so far off the rails and so close to losing it all, so we can save it just in time. I don't know. It's powerful, powerful energies. So with these sextiles are helping us with these creative solutions to jimmy the lock on this, right? And so we go into eclipse season with these sextiles saying, we got this, we can figure this out. This eclipse season is a complete rearranging because Mercury will be in Pisces, mutable sign, and the nodes of the moon are in Pisces. It's so powerful that now Mercury is going to go to 22 degrees before turning retrograde in Pisces on February 26th. And then retrograde back to 8 degrees of Pisces. Now 8 degrees is where the nodes of the moon are just arriving. I mean, it's so crazy, like the lineup of astrology, because the nodes of the moon move backwards. They're at 9 degrees right now, and they'll make it to 8 degrees, guess when? Right when Mercury crosses over 8 degrees Pisces for the first time. And that's when the planet in going into a retrograde goes into retrograde shadow, meaning that it's going to come back to that place, right? And so 8 degrees is a number of transformation. And Pisces, it's all possibilities, right? So going back to this whole thing of where they've stolen our future and this observation and this control, and through dates and expectations of disasters and catastrophes and issues and problems and this and that. And it's like they've stolen our future, because when it's all mapped out, you can't collapse into the possibilities, right? So it's like almost maybe the miracles and magic of the Piscean age are about being able to collapse into the possibilities available to us in co-creation. Right? Because I've noticed that we're in this massive surveillance state, and you'd think it was designed, like at first you're like, oh yeah, they're stealing our data, our DNA. They just want to observe us so they can create clones. Who knows what they're doing? But you know what? They're just keeping us in a linear time zone, in a linear timeline. That when we know from quantum physics that when things only collapse into reality when they're observed. So if we're constantly being observed, that means we can't collapse into possibility, into the waveform. And so this is a really important understanding to help us navigate these times and take the space and time you need to yourself and also take it on all levels, because that's the owning your energetic field. You have autonomy over your field. You're in charge of what comes in. And then you can become a bell and the frequency emitter of what goes out. It's so powerful. And so I invite you, if you can't afford that class, but you feel called to be a part of it, please reach out to me. The most people we can get doing this work right now, basically saying, yes, we're broadcasting our moves, we're activating into Christ consciousness. We are turning on our light body. That's what this technology is. And we're going to do it together. We're just going to broadcast. We're not going to speak in code anymore and cover our tracks, So please be a part of that if you'd like to. But it's very important for us to learn that to take back our authority in our field. It's the most important thing. And all the tools you need to do that are in there, that course. It's a synthesized version of my intuitive training, lifetimes of work, of esoteric stuff. It's not designed to teach you to be intuitive. It's designed to teach you how to manage your intuition and your skills and your sensitivities, and mostly to trigger the memories that you have in your own field. I feel that many of you are more advanced than me, but for some reason I can offer the triggers and the clues that can help you remember this technology in your body. And so please think about being a part of that. And also that new moon activation, a powerful timeline alignment where we came into contact with the Milky Way in the sands of time. And what a beautiful kind of, can we collapse and surrender into the 0 point, because we know we have the code, so that we can move into all possibilities, so that we can move into the glorious dream of what Mother Earth wants to become. We as Earth stewards, Earth healers, that's who we are. We were there from the beginning. This is why you're here listening to me right now. You were there as a witness to the birth of the dream of Gaia, a Mother Earth as an ascension planet. You hold the code. You love her so much. It's all the only reason you exist in this realm. And most of us are walking around being like, what am I even doing here? This is what you're doing here, right? And you're going to help all the other lost people figure out what they're doing here as we move into this, the way that all the indigenous cultures throughout time just know and live in mutual reciprocity, deep reverence, honor, gratitude. She says she's taking it all back, right? And she says, show up with reverence and gifts, and then we'll talk about it, right? She's not going to leak it out to the dark forces anymore. So there's a massive adjustment going on. If that algorithm changes, Mother Earth's resources can no longer be used for harmful technologies. Is that why they want disclosure to be able to mine off planet, right? Because mom says no, we're not doing that. I don't know. It's very strange times, but keep in mind these beautiful sextiles that are helping us. Saturn sextile Uranus around reworking reality in order to come into full permission for our intuitive gifts and skills. The sextile is the final pass in these signs. Massive awakening. And so it's so powerful that these are in sextile. So what this means is that Uranus is in trine to the new moon that just happened was in trine to Uranus, and so this activated this sextile that's exact right now through the 25th, but like I said, we'll be feeling it through February 22nd. So incredibly powerful. So keep working the magic, because we also have Neptune. So Saturn sextile Uranus, and Neptune's only 2 degrees away. So Neptune is sextile Uranus. Remember that kite formation? It's coming back into form. And so we've got Saturn coming up to Neptune, very powerful. They don't actually conjunct until they move into Aries, but they're coming so close, and it's just like this meeting of the timeline, reworking of time with the reworking of the dream and the release of delusions, and it's just like, kind of like there's this we have to understand magnetics for this to get through this, that the main thing that we got us really tripped up in all the lies is gravity. They told us that gravity was a force, like a tether, and it's completely erroneous. Gravity is polarity. And so we have to understand these polarities, and this is exactly how supernovas, they come together in intense polarity and so much energy, and they immediately repel, and then they can come back into this beautiful reciprocity of working together, and then off to the next. So it's like, this is what we're doing. This is our relationship with our true self, our relationship with Mother, our relationship to Jesus, Yeshua, whatever, source. We're coming in, we're repelling, like Mother Earth, like, oh, dang, I just really failed her, or whatever the feelings are that come up. And then we can come back into that glorious union, because gravity itself is our toroidal field, our magnetic pole with Earth's magnetic pole. That's why the yogis with these technologies I'm talking about, available in our very own body, can change their polarity and levitate. How the pyramids were built, right? Actually also through melting stones, like dematerialization and rematerialization. And that's exactly this portal we're going through, the 0 point, this like rebirth. That's like, all right, we got to go to 0 point in order to reset. That means you guys got to hold the code. So I think we can have fun doing it. So I'm really excited to stay connected through this eclipse season. We've got the Leo full moon, like I said, Sunday, February 1st, then leading us into the solar eclipse. And then the solar eclipse is on Tuesday, February 17th at 28 degrees Aquarius. I guess I should talk about this because it's Chinese New Year. We've been waiting for so long to get through the year of the snake and into the fire horse. But are you ready? Because horses are born with their feet on the ground. If not right away, quickly. So it's time to hit the ground running. We've been behind the gate with our Stockholm syndrome for so long, so more evidence of preparation. Be ready, like, let's go. And so the Chinese New Year happens the day after the Aquarius new moon. This year, the Aquarius new moon is a solar eclipse. And it's happening at 28 degrees Aquarius, 50 minutes. So 28, the same degree that this last new moon was at in Capricorn yesterday. So we're 1 month away from Chinese New Year. Hit the ground running. So you better get your ducks in a row, right? And So that solar eclipse happening at the end of Aquarius. So we have to understand that the ages, just like the nodes of the moon, say the age of Aquarius, age of Pisces, move backwards, right? We've been in the age of Pisces, now we're going to the age of Aquarius, which means the entry into the age of Aquarius is at the end. And that's where this new moon happens at 28 degrees. It's the beginning and the end. 2 and 8 are 1. We're coming out of a 9-year and into a 1-year. So everything is speaking to this rebirth. So that solar eclipse, very powerful. And that is right in the, so that's February 17th, and Mercury turns retrograde the 26th. So Mercury hits the nodes as they hit 8, comes into retrograde shadow. The solar eclipse happens, and then Mercury turns retrograde on the 26th and goes back to 8 degrees. To turn direct. Oops, I must have that wrong. I think I have these dates wrong. Maybe, no. Yeah, no, I think that's right. On March 21st is when, on equinox, happy equinox, when Mercury will turn direct at 8 degrees Pisces and come out of shadow on April 10th. But it's powerful that meet up with the nodes just as they're coming into to 8 degrees where the eclipses happen. And that Mercury will retrograde back to that place of 8 degrees. So we're transforming our reality and time. And so then we move into the lunar eclipse. It's a total lunar eclipse, very powerful energy, Tuesday, March 3rd, and that will be at 12 degrees of Virgo, 54 minutes, and 12, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, creation energy, and 54 is 9, so it's like the end of all of the blocks upon our, the healing of Mother Earth and the activation of Mother Earth, Mother Dragon. It's like removing all the obstacles to Mother Dragon, and that's perfect timing because on the 11th of March is when Jupiter turns direct and brings us that flood of tsunami of mother love coming back into our life, into the true abundance, the true substance. We're really all looking for the mana from heaven, and that is incredibly powerful. Now, one more thing, when we get to that place of the 11th of March, when Jupiter turns direct in Cancer at 15 degrees. 5 and 1 is 6, and 6 is a number that represents human potential and the blocking of human potential. So we're overcoming all of it. Right then, when Jupiter, from the eclipse to Jupiter turning direct, Black Moon Lilith will be an exact square to the nodes of the moon. Black Moon Lilith in Sagittarius, representing that quest, that greater quest, but it's like the feminine quest. So we can't go anywhere till we get her back on the trail with us, and not just on the trail, but ignored and validated and, belittled. We need her back in her throne, and we need to have reverence. We need to learn from her. And this is the energy of Black Moon Lilith square the nodes. So Black Moon Lilith in Sag, the awakening of the true quest that the divine feminine holds within, because she leads the way. She's been the holder of the code. And then the nodes of the moon. And of course, they're going to be at that 8-degree marker. Because when the eclipses happen, the nodes slow down and kind of stay at one place, because the nodes are the interception of the sun and the moon's orbit. And so when those come together, that's the nodes. And so they hover there at the eclipses. And it's a total reworking of time. Also, what's been hidden being revealed. And so in Virgo, we're talking about the creation forces of Earth, which have been stolen from us, being reactivated. Crazy, because on the 3rd, the same day as that lunar eclipse, March 3rd, Black Moon Lilith comes into that exact square with the nodes to the 11th, which is when Jupiter turns direct. So Black Moon Lilith, this greater dream and quest of the divine feminine coming out of the darkness, North Node Pisces, South Node Virgo. So we've got to bring her out of the darkness and get back on the quest of our goddess in order to move forward and with the dreams and the miracles and get out of the past, but heal the earth. The South Node in Virgo is about, why haven't we done the earth healing we came here to do? We're healers of the earth. And is this what we're doing here? Keepers of the code. Now we finally understand what we're doing. And so we're coming back to that message from her, that there's so much coming through right now from what's been blocked, that take the time to digest. Don't choke on the wisdom. Take the time to digest, lots of time to write, to draw, to be creative, to just sit there and think, just sort through, be blank, stare at the wall, be in nature. Give yourself all of your time right now, because it's only up to you and it's only about you. And this is the trick of this initiation we've been in. This story, if you study the law of one, this realization that there's the self-serving people, souls that want to serve others, and there's souls that want to serve their own self. But we got to talk about the lower self and the higher self, because the souls that are here to serve others, if they don't come back around to serving themselves, then they're screwed. And if those that came to serve themselves don't come back around to serving others, then they're screwed, and we're all screwed. And so for us as servers, we have to come and serve ourselves, meaning that if all of that out there is an illusion, this is the only thing real, and this is the only thing you're in charge of, this is the only thing you can fix, it's the only thing you can work with, and it is the keeper of this massive, beautiful abundance of life force energy that's been bestowed upon you as an advanced soul. This is what's come forward. The light body work that's possible is technology in our own field, the emanation, literal emanation of light from our field. That is something that's developed from soul work over lifetimes. So you don't have to be scared that you're not ready to activate into your Merkaba field. You don't have to worry about whether it's there or not, or you deserve it or anything, because it's already in a seed formation. It's yours. You earned it. And it happens spontaneously. This is why they've been keeping us under constant misery, some of us, right? To try to attempt to block the contagion of light body. It's why all the witches were ever burned, every persecution. And guess what? The vaccination, COVID, all about this. Keeping us from each other, because if we're around each other in our light body, it automatically activates. It's spontaneous and beautiful. So here we are. And so I hope you'll consider joining that Owning Your Energetic Field course. Would be a great help for me right now with support if you can pull it off. And if you need help with that, please let me know. You want to be a part of it. If you want to be devoted and dedicated to this work, I need a group of an army, right? SuperNova army, where we're really holding space for our permission for these technologies and to protect ourselves. Really, she's been saying that my body's your body, right? Her body's our body. And if we can protect our field, we're literally putting back together her turtle shell. It's so beautiful. And what a glorious way to move forward, whole and complete, with all of the pieces back together, all 13 moons and the whole calendar and all the dimensions. The 12 has kept us from the dimensionality of Mother Earth. Keeping us, this is really important too, is the concept that we're stuck here. The whole ascension thing says, oh, well, you have to die, things have to change, there has to be a recapitulation, there has to be catastrophe, and everything has to go away, and then you transform and you go somewhere new. And it's like, no. It's our Earth. She's an ascension planet. She's asking us to hold her hand. I think we should listen to her first. And to understand that we don't have to go anywhere. We don't have to leave anybody behind, because all 7 dimensions of her reality exist together. We've just been quarantined here. To go here, it's not traumatic. Nothing has to die. The Earth doesn't need a catastrophe. We don't need to have a solar flare or a pole shift or earthquakes and disasters. That's all lies. The only thing keeping us in this narrow realm of reference is the control forces that want to keep us from knowing who we are. This is the one thing. If we're talking the key of the universe, it's who we are. And when we know that, we can no longer be kept as captive. slaves and prisoners in the way that we have been. We don't, I know it's, you know, it's the only thing that makes sense. You're abundant. They kept you keeping yourself, believing that you're scarce so that they could steal your energy. Okay? So only way forward is us coming back into our abundance. And so this is so important for us to recognize the power we have to overcome all of this planetary alignment, putting ourselves back together so that we can be that whole beautiful potential picture of what's possible, to walk and breathe in Mother's garden at every moment, and to understand that we have the power to protect ourselves and the absolute authority and permission to move forward in this awakening dream. So there's no trauma involved in raising your frequency. If there is, your guardian of the threshold will help you harmonize it all. Make sure you're ready at the right time. You know, they've got us thinking that we need some sort of catastrophe to let everything go and leave everyone behind in order to move to the next place. But we don't. It's right there. It's just been hidden from us. And this place doesn't have to go away. It will be right here. We can still write and talk and remember about all the dramas of this realm and this frequency, but we won't have to live it. Right? Because the shift is that the delusions of the Piscean age with Neptune coming out of Pisces is that delusional reality cannot be a base of reality anymore, right? There's no energy to back up delusional reality. It's not being fed in the new paradigm. Only substance, only what's real. Guess what? That's you. And you're so precious and you are so valuable. Please take care of your precious self, she says. Love yourself. Take care of yourself as her body. This is how we overcome what Uranus at the end degrees of Taurus is asking us to overcome of our worthiness, is to treat our body as her body, to love ourselves as the temple so much. Go on a deep journey into the understanding of what health is and really taking care of ourselves on all levels. Then we honor her. We're in alignment and we feel completely worthy into stepping into being her warriors, her emissaries, her stewards, coming back into our rightful place. And that's what she says. Get in line, come around. What are you doing? Okay, here we go. It's exciting. It's unknown. It's scary. And yet, here we go. Ready for it to move so fast. We don't have time to be scared because we got our ducks in a row, right? We're in alignment, got our structure set up in our lives to give us the confidence to move forward. So that's your meditation time, your schedule, also keeping it fluid and open, right? But like really make sure to give yourself the time to digest, right? Before the next piece comes in, because it's big, really, really big. And we have to make up for lost time. So you have to be very deliberate and conscious about how to process the information and the healing, the emotional release, understandings, the spiritual energies and frequencies in our physical body and our field. So thank you so much for being with me and for doing this work and for your support. I really appreciate it. There's links to donate if you appreciate this ad-free space. I just don't like those YouTube ads and I want to have this clear, pure for you. And so if you want to drop a donation, that would be wonderful. And there's links in the information box below. You could also become a part of the membership group that gets you into the new moon and the full moon activations. Never miss an activation and stay connected to the next moves of the Soul Tribe as we come into our power and the awakening Mother Dragon Gaia adventure, the magic carpet ride. The thing is that we've been giving the people around us a free ride. We let them let us think that we didn't have anything within us. We didn't have any source. We didn't have anything to offer, and yet we are it all. And we've been allowing them a free ride on our ark, on our goddess, on our ship. So get in line or get off. And that's what she's saying. And so be with her. Take your place in the army, on the boat, on the ark. You know, there's a place for you. It's so special to find your piece of the puzzle and come find your puzzle pieces to get the bigger picture. You are so important and you are so necessary. And that's why you've been preserved for this time. So let's put ourselves back together, take radically good care of ourselves as Mother's body, heal the breach in our field and the infiltration, as so we can send a prayer of healing the infiltration of Mother Earth and correcting time all the way back to Atlantean time. So we can move forward in what we really came here to do, huh? The next step. And the full expression. Because in the astrology charts of supernova souls, it's become clear again and again with the message that, yeah, you came here to finish up a whole bunch of karma, right? Your plate is full. You got this and this and this, and you want to integrate all these parts of yourself, and you got to clear this up. But that's not actually what you came here to do. You came here for full expression, and that's why they want to steal our future and make it so that we can't even think that there's a future. Think your future, be your future. Be the terminal ill patient that's choosing life in every moment. You get your future. You came here as a supernova soul for full expression of that Adam Cadman within you and your own unique vibration, your own thread in her beautiful tapestry. And you will come into that potential. You can't get out of this until you do. So here we go. And thank you so much for your strength and your bravery and making it through all you've made it through to be here with us. I love you so much, and I can't wait to have this glorious next chapter where we come together and dance and sing and celebrate on her nodal points. The only thing that's real is her. She's our grid, our life, our love, our mother, our source, and it's through the mother that we come back to Jesus. Jesus brought us actually all the teachings that Jesus talked of were the mother's teachings. And so Jesus came as a teacher to bring us back to Mother. Now Mother comes as a teacher to bring us back to Yeshua, to the Father. It's the only way we can get to the Father is through her, through the womb, right? Rebirth. All the deepest mysteries are kind of been turned on their head. And now we turn the world back inside out or outside in, whatever we're doing. And that's kind of how it's felt like, just as an update on that for those of us timeline workers and timekeepers. There's an energy of tilt like you would see in a pinball machine if you get it too rocking and rolling and it just goes tilt, and that's kind of where we're at. We're like, ooh, tilt. It's also made the unbalanced washing machine, right? It gets this place that has to shut down because it's just too imbalanced and it has to be corrected. And a little bit kind of like things can fall off the edge of reality. And that's all evidence that we are in the polar shift or whatever is happening right now. We are the polar shift, coming back into that deep and true alignment with her, which is also our North Star. Our North Star is her North Star, right? It all revolves around that right here. So be here with her in your peace, with your God, in your temple, and we'll see you there. And hopefully see you on the replay of the Capricorn New Moon activation. Very powerful sessions, Saturday sessions. You can catch the replay if you can't make it live, but Saturday sessions for that owning your energetic field. Why not turn on your light, So thank you so much for being with me and for all of your support and your presence. I look forward to what lies ahead. We'll see you as we make the leap into the new next week with Neptune making the leap, the new dream over the Aries point. So I look forward to connecting with you. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.